Jeffrey's so full of limiting beliefs. He is so certain that he's gonna suck with women forever. But Jeffrey, you know that navigating your relationships with women is a skill, don't you? But he won't listen. He's stuck with his fixed mindset. Because of that, Jeffrey never learns the psychological secrets to attracting women. Adonis. Adonis attracts women just like Pakistani men attract random bag searchers. How did Adonis get like this? It was all down to observing his father navigate his relationship with his mother. And so growing into a man, Adonis just imitated his father. But then he looked around and saw his generation of men struggle to do this because they had been raised in a fatherless home. We need to help them. I got friend-zoned by this girl when I was around age 16. The story of it makes me cringe, bro. So I had a crush on her. She was like a girl in my class. I had managed to get her phone number. I think I must have had the confidence to just go up and ask for it. And we end up texting. We go for a walk. And this is the only time that I met her outside of class. And it's just kind of awkward. We're not like holding hands or kissing or anything like that. I even remember we went past like this park that had a pull-up bar. And so I like played around on it. And I told her like, oh, go on, try a pull-up. And she just didn't even want to try attempting a pull-up or anything, which I found kind of like, oh, that's, you know, she's not that fun of a girl then. Eventually, at the end of the walk, I walk her back to her parents' house and we're stood outside. I go in for a hug and she spasms up and almost pushes me away and she's like, oh, I don't like hugging people. We had plans after that to go watch Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie that came out like a few years ago. And she texted me saying, oh, you know, I think we should just be friends. And I was heartbroken, but then I texted her back saying like, okay, but do you still want to go watch Guardians of the Galaxy as friends? This experience that I had isn't even that abnormal. Like a lot of young guys struggle to navigate their relationships with women because you've never really been taught this stuff before. And for the young guys out there who haven't had the ability and privilege to be able to just imitate their masculine father figure, then you're starting from ground zero. You know, it's only with new age modern content like this where a young man who hasn't had such a great father figure can come in, potentially see like a role model, potentially I could be someone's role model, and then learn from like a different masculine father figure. And you might have a limiting belief that I really want to help you destroy, and that's the belief of just thinking like, oh, well, I just suck with women, I can't change that. You've got to see your relationships with women, your ability, your skill of dating like a skill. So remember the video games that we used to play, and we used to have like characters and skills that you could level up, and you would level up by gaining XP, experience in a certain skill. Dating is a skill that you can level up by gaining experience. So you've got to ask yourself, what's your dating level? Imagine dating was a skill in a video game. What's your dating level? It's probably quite low, and that's why you're experiencing such negatives of a low dating skill. But when you have a low level in a video game, what do? Well, you just train it. And if you are feeling a little hopeless in terms of dating, and you do have this kind of fixed mindset where you're just so sure that you can't change anything, I urge you to just consider this. What would you say to a fat guy who told you that he was certain that he couldn't lose weight? What would you say to a fat guy who said like, oh, well, you know, I've tried dieting, but like, it's just too hard? Well, he just needs to try harder. He needs to try again and again and again. It's not going to be quick and easy for the fat guy to eventually get into the gym and eat clean, but he is going to make small progress here and there while still experiencing, you know, those negatives of feeling like he's not consistent. He has to kind of go through the trials and tribulations for a couple of weeks, months, years before he really looks at himself in the mirror and realizes that now he's really jacked. And the same can be said for your dating skill level. Like, you have to go through a bunch of these undesirable experiences with girls, like friend zoning you, or you messing up and you're saying something like stupid, like you just mess up and say some like autistic shit next to this girl. You have to kind of go through like 50 or 100 situations like that over the course of the next few years to get better and better at dating. So I'm going to teach you something here that sounds pretty cringy, but I promise will make such a hugely positive impact on your dating life. And it's talking about the alpha male and the beta male. Because you see, inside of every human being is our natural evolutionary psychology. And so that means what women are attracted to today is still going to be heavily influenced by what they were attracted to in the primal caveman days. And that is the alpha male. Girls are attracted to the guy who displays traits of the alpha male. Strength, size, dominance, confidence, leadership. A man who can hold good eye contact. A man who's successful, who's high up in the status, in the social hierarchy. You already know in your mind how to become more of an alpha male. Bulk up, go to the gym, be more disciplined, achieve more success in your business or your studies. Because the alpha male is all about just being at the top of the social hierarchy, or at least progressing in that direction. And I'm going to give you a controversial piece of advice, which so many of these like soft modern day YouTubers and all these guys who are trying to help you will find offensive. But the truth is that if you want to attract more women, you need to specifically be better than more men. And here's a very interesting note. In the modern day, the alpha male is very cultural and contextual. That means that that the characteristics of the best guy of the group is based on that group's modern interest and societal like conformity. Essentially what this means is that for you to be perceived as the alpha male or the best guy or the guy who's the highest up in social hierarchy, you have to kind of fit into that group's interest. So if you're a young guy and you're in high school and you're trying to attract other high school aged girls, chances are their alpha male is going to be like the lean, confident TikTok boy who's got nice hair and who has like a lot of clout on like TikTok and Instagram. That lean TikTok boy is considered the alpha male in this group, even though generally you'd think the alpha male is like some big hairy bearded guy in a bathrobe. But it's not. The alpha male is not always the big steroid meathead Dwayne Johnson kind of look. It's specifically about that particular group in which that girl is a part of and what they deem as like the best man. If a guy, for example, is in a developing country which is way closer to like survival and, you know, necessity, then the alpha male there would be the stereotypical like strong man who's masculine, who has a beard, who can provide. So here's an actionable step that you can take from this video to do right now. It's a journaling prompt. And you can do this right now. So grab a piece of paper and a pen or your notepad on your phone and ask yourself the question, what kind of girl are you interested in? Be totally authentic. What kind of girl are you interested in? And then ask yourself another question. Who is her alpha male? What kind of guy is her alpha male? So for me, for example, I'll tell you my specific answer. What kind of girl am I interested in? I want a girl who's committed to her self-improvement journey, who's going to get better and better over time because I'm looking for something serious now. I want a girl who goes to the gym every day. I want a girl who's totally on self-improvement, reading like the good books, who meditates and does yoga and eats clean. Then I ask myself the second question, who is her alpha male? If this woman on self-improvement got to pick the best guy she could, who would he be? Well, he'd probably be the leader of a massive self-improvement movement. And so that's exactly what I've become. Once you have both answers, with one describing the woman that you want, and then two describing her alpha male, decide by yourself if you do want to mold yourself more into this, if that feels kind of authentic and ambitious to do so. You shouldn't change yourself just to please a woman. But if you can see this answer as improving the important parts of your life, then maybe you'll want to go in that direction anyway. Scroll down and click on the subscribe button and also click and watch this video right now. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah!